Hey everyone, Craig Proctor here. Just wanted to share some ideas with you here today on Facebook Live. Take any questions that you have. I want to talk to you a little bit about what makes a real estate business work if you want to do this well. First of all, let's talk about lead generation. I mean, there's just a few steps, simple steps to make your real estate business or any business for that matter work. Lead generation is the beginning of all of this. You can't have a growing business without an abundance of it. So traditionally in real estate, we've been taught, when you get into the business to do the typical things, door knocking and cold calling and chasing expireds and for sale by owners and working your sphere of influence. And of course, that's only going to get you so far. So what I realized really early into my real estate career is if you want to be really successful, you have to learn how to sell to strangers. Referrals are great, and we definitely have a great system, a worthy cause referral marketing system to help you do a better job of getting referrals from the people you know, your friends, and your past clients, etc. So we have systems for that. But if you really want to grow a huge real estate business, you need to figure out lead generation. So, of course, the traditional way to do this, I talked about a second ago, manual grunt labor. What I figured out real early in my real estate career is, number one, I hated doing that stuff. And I had to figure out an automated way to generate leads, to really get buyers and sellers to come to me. And you do that by offering prospects what they want. Okay, and that does not mean talking about you and how great you are. It doesn't mean advertising and promoting your listings, because we know that doesn't work very well. I mean, let's be honest. In all the years you've been selling real estate, what percentage of the time when you get an ad call or a sign call, does the buyer say, oh my God, I love this house, and I go over and buy it? Not usually. What mostly happens is prospects eliminate the property. We're talking 99% of the time, they tell you it's property's too big, it's too small, it's in the wrong location or whatever. And we learn how to convert those leads. We learn the skill of call conversion. Well, what are you looking for? That's the idea, right? We advertise our listings, we get sign calls, 99% of the time they eliminate the property, we find out what they're looking for, and then we try to find that perfect home for them. It's usually not one of our listings. So what I learned to do early in my career is to open the funnel and really figure out what it is that people want. Instead of making a narrow, tiny offer, make a big, universal offer. Offer prospects what they really, really want. And that changed everything for me. I go from being a starving real estate agent, selling a couple dozen homes a year. Someone might be thinking, well, that's not too bad. But really, it's not a great living. But I go from figuring out direct response marketing, figuring out follow-up systems, funnel systems, and within 24 months, I'm named the top RE/MAX agent in the world, which was pretty cool because I'm still in my 20s, still living at home with my parents. And so I became a real student of direct response marketing. And that's what we teach agents to do, is to really treat this like a business, understand the science, and it is a science of lead generation. So let's go back to this idea of offering prospects what it is they really, really want, and making a wide funnel. Okay, so traditionally, instead of chasing them and instead of blowing your brains out on traditional marketing that you already know doesn't generate great results. I mean, it's funny when I'm in front of an audience of people and I ask, well, when you get an ad call or a sign call, what happens? And they're like, well, really not much. So we're kind of baiting prospects with something they really don't want. If we think about that, that's the listing that you have. So if we look at your marketplace right now, and we did some research on what is selling, what category of home on the market, what price range, what neighborhoods are really selling, we can do this easily on MLS. By the way, people in other industries would love to have access to the kind of information that we have as real estate agents. So we can get access to the sales in different zip codes, different streets, and we can determine the highest turnover streets, and we can target them. Okay, so the triple M formula here is you've got to figure out the right message, you've got to find out the right target market, and you've got to be delivering that message to that right target market using the right media. You got to get all three of those right to get the right results. So one of the things I did earlier in my career is I started to advertise and promote high demand areas in my town. There was an area called Glenway Estates, golf course area. And what made that unique is there weren't many homes under $1 million. So I advertised a list of Glenway home estates under $1 million. See, what we want to do is we want to offer something that's high demand, but it also has to sound like something they can't just Google and find on their own. You know, buyers have access to all kinds of information. So that's the idea, is we're going to do a little bit of research on MLS. We're going to find out the unique, the target areas that have the highest demand. And then we're going to make it easy and non-threatening for prospects to contact us. So instead of asking real estate agents to call a real estate agent, asking prospects to call a real estate agent, we want to drive them to a landing page or a recorded hotline, some type of funnel that'll automate it. We'll get 3 times as many prospects that are willing to raise their hand and come into the funnel that way than if we give them the direct phone number. Now, we can do that too. And the argument for branded type advertising, where they know they're contacting you, the real estate agent, is they'll be more predisposed to working with you. So you'll generate higher quality leads. But we're going to do both. We're going to do branded advertising. We're promoting yourself and your unique selling propositions. And we're going to be doing less branded advertising. We're going to be flying underneath the consumer's advertising radar. Now, let's talk about what we're going to do with these leads when they come in. So let's just assume that I know what I'm talking about, and we can teach you how to figure out what's in high demand in your marketplace. And we're going to cause these buyers and sellers to come to you. They're going to come through your automated marketing system. That's still not good enough, because we got to follow up with the leads. Some of you, I know, you buy your leads or you're generating leads right now, and you're really doing nothing with the leads. You know, we're not really here to collect the leads. We want to do something with the leads, something specific. So you need to have a specific follow-up system. So how are we going to do that? First of all, nothing is going to beat the actual phone call that you make to the prospect. Nothing is superior to that. We have other automated ways that'll enhance the follow-up call. It'll help you do a better job with follow-up through emails and text messages and direct mail mailings. But let's talk about the phone call that you're going to make to prospects. That very first phone call, the idea behind it is we want to determine the motivation and timing of prospects. That's really what we're trying to do. I didn't understand that earlier in my career. I would be on the phone for 15 or 20 minutes with a prospect, and I might know an awful lot about them, but I didn't really know their true motivation and timing. Now, it's important that we get this script down so we can determine the motivation and timing of a prospect in 2 or 3 minutes or less. And here's why it's important, because we want to teach you how to generate a lot of leads. And if you have to spend, say, 15 minutes with each prospect on the telephone, you'd only be able to speak to 4 prospects in an hour, and that's just not good enough. So that's what I spent a lot of time on earlier in my career is what are the qualifying questions that I need to ask? What's the process I need to take a prospect through on the phone to be able to very quickly, like in 3 minutes or less, determine their motivation and timing. And really they fall into 3 categories. When you ask these series of questions and you do it correctly, you're going to determine either the prospect's ready to buy or sell now, which is great. We're going to want to meet with prospects that are motivated and their timing is now. And we're going to teach you how to do that by making the right offer. You know, because some of you say, well, how do I get the buyers and sellers to meet with me? Well, you have to make the right offer. You have to understand what they're looking for, make the right offer. The second category are people that are not ready to buy or sell today. So we're not going to try to force an appointment with somebody that's not ready to buy or sell today, but they might be 3 months or 6 months out. So we're going to follow up with them with a very powerful follow-up system. Okay, if I gave you a post-dated check for $10,000 post-dated, let's say for 2 or 3 months down the road, you would keep that check. So we're going to nurture the future prospects. And mind you, most of the buyers and sellers you speak to will represent future business. Okay, if you think of all the years you've been in real estate, what percentage of the prospects that you talk to say, hey, I'm ready to buy or sell, come on over and get me now, versus the percentage of prospects that say, I'm 2 months or 6 months down the road. So we're going to be hunting for now business, and we're going to be planting the seeds for future business. And of course, the third category are the prospects that are just not, you determine are just not motivated, or their timing's way off into the future. They're, say, 2 years down the road, and we're not going to follow up with those prospects. For me, in my database, I only followed up with prospects that within 1 year of doing something. So they received my newsletter, my email, my voice broadcast messages, my text messages. So there's a science to this. Here's the thing: to be successful in any business, all you really have to do is find somebody that's already being successful or has been successful, and copy them. Okay, and that's all we teach here. Is we teach you what's been proven to work. Not only me, but thousands of Craig Proctor members over the last 20 years that I've been doing this. So follow up done properly will get you appointments, and of course you can still blow it there, because if you don't have a powerful listing presentation or buyer presentation,